Hi, I'm Ann Abgerin, and I have the pleasure of introducing our guest speaker, Sylwia. I'm sorry I can't be with you today, but I'm actually traveling. What I want to tell you about Sylwia is that she has energy and enthusiasm for self-improvement and learning about herself. What's also special is that she was dedicated to ensuring that she would thrive in her life. Please help me welcome Sylwia.
Thank you so much for inviting me here. When Erin suggested that Ann introduce me, I told her that I felt like I was at the Oscars. But she said I wasn't getting the gift bag and no red carpet, so it still feels as close as I can get to that right now. Oh, I forgot my timer. My story begins in the 80s in communist Poland, which probably tells you all you need to know, like how this is gonna go. But I'll tell you a little more. From as long as I can remember, I loved America. But what I learned was from TV. So my mom always had us watch Dynasty in Dallas. And like every week on Sunday, that was our main program to watch. So to me, America was that. So I thought if I can live here, that's how I'm going to live. So, and even to this day, when my mom visits, she's still disappointed. It doesn't look like this. So probably since I was 9 or 10, I dreamt of coming here and living here, which finally happened when I was 26. And it didn't happen how I wanted it because my home life was very difficult because my dad was an alcoholic. So it's just, my home wasn't very safe. And I always thought of leaving even when I was a kid because I just wanted a safe home and I thought here it would happen. So finally, when I finished college at 26, I came here and pretty quickly I got married to what I thought was Prince Charming, but it turned out he was not. And it was pretty interesting because I thought that, when you get married and you have honeymoon, it lasts a couple months, but mine ended about a month in because he relapsed, and then I found out he was a heroin addict. So on the one hand, it was like someone just hit me with a baseball bat, but on the other, it was strangely familiar because that was exactly how my home life was. So there was this weird pull, and on the one hand I wanted to run, on the other one I couldn't because I was already trauma bonded. So I managed to be in that relationship for 10 years. Even though I wanted to leave many times, it was just too difficult, and the type of the person he was, and all addicts are, they kind of destroy your personality completely. They make you believe you can't really survive on your own and you're nothing without them. So, and also coming from Poland, it was, divorce just wasn't an option, and being Catholic, I couldn't do it. So, but fortunately, well, now I think it's fortunately, back then I didn't. When we got what I thought was a dream home, was a farm on 30 acres. I had goats and chickens, which I always wanted. And I thought, if this happens, then all the problems will be fixed. Like the addiction didn't matter, all will be fine. And the house we bought in August, and 2 months later, I found out he was cheating. So I didn't even unpack yet, because I thought, I don't know, something was telling me, don't be too happy about this place, which to me was paradise. But I heard this voice, don't be too happy, you won't be here too long. And I already found a tree where I was going to be buried. So I was like, oh, that doesn't work. So I didn't know what that was about. So 2 months in, I find out he's cheating. And immediately I was like, I'm done. This is my way out. Even though it's, horrible and terrifying, now I'm going to be free. And I thought, it's going to be nice and simple. You get divorced and it's over. So pretty soon, I pretty quickly hired a lawyer. I was going through the process. And immediately he was doing like everything you're not supposed to do in divorce, didn't care, like law or rules don't matter completely to these people. And about like 4 or 5 months in, my neighbor called saying that he was coming with some people to the home, which he moved out of 3 months prior. And all, you know, my money was their documents, everything, and he was just coming in to take more stuff. So I got so scared, because my dog was there too. I ran, left work, ran over there, and he was there, brought his girlfriend, so she could pick whatever she wanted from the house. And I got so, like, I don't know what happened, like I had this strange force, and I was telling them to leave my home, take her out, like, this is my safe space. So they wouldn't leave for about half hour, and I tried to get them out. Finally, they left. Next day, I'm at work, and I get a restraining order. That I was just so, apparently they told the police that I was so out of control that now my ex-husband felt very unsafe. He filed restraining order. 2 days later, turns out he said I was trying to kill them, and I was trying to kill him and his girlfriend, so they charged me with 7 felonies, and they wanted to put me to jail for 10 years, no prior, nothing. They asked for the highest possible sentence. So that was interesting. That's how the divorce kind of turned into this different area. So I was arrested, put in jail, and fortunately I wasn't there a long time, but it was enough for me to be pretty traumatized for life, I think. And the whole situation with the process lasted about 7 months. I couldn't leave state. I had to post bail to even get out of jail. Every time there was a red car somewhere, I was getting like almost panicked because I couldn't come anywhere near because I would be arrested. And he had a red car. So I made it to the process somehow, to the trial. I had a really good lawyer. And she got me out of all the charges, so all the 7 felonies were struck, so I was free. But the first thing I remember being in the court, I still don't remember, I kind of had to be in denial about it, because if I would think this was happening to me, I don't think I could have survived it. So I pretended like I was watching a movie of someone going through this whole situation. And the first thing when I came home after the trial, I didn't, because I thought I was going away for 10 years and I'm not going to see trees or my dog or anything. And I thought if I come home and I'm free, I'm going to do something amazing. And I was like, wow, I wonder what it's going to be. And the first thing I did was actually clean the bathroom. No idea where that came from, felt good, and it worked. And then I went for a walk. So that was pretty awesome. But right when I knew the divorce was going to happen, I knew I wouldn't be able to handle that without therapy, because even though I didn't know exactly what kind of person he was, I knew it wasn't going to be easy. So I found a therapist, Northwest Catholic Center. I chose them because they were close to the grotto, and that was my favorite place in the world. So I thought I can go there, I can go to therapy, and somehow I'll make it through. I was given a therapist just randomly. I didn't choose a therapist. I wasn't able to afford actual, $100, $150 charge, because I was paying for 2 lawyers at the time, the divorce and for the trial. So they let me pay how much I could afford, which I never even heard it's possible. So I think I was led to that place somehow magically. And I had my first therapist, who I could immediately feel an incredible spiritual connection with. And it was the first time that I could feel that I could talk to someone without being judged or told, it's okay, it wasn't that bad. Like, I could actually feel like what I went through was bad, because when I would try to tell friends or family, they're like, oh, you're complaining. People in China have it worse, you don't have it that. I always heard that, So I just was so blown away that you can actually talk to someone and they could hear you and understand and offer support without telling you what to do. Sometimes, like with both of my therapists, with Anne and with Grace, who came here today, sometimes I would go to and from the session and I would have such an incredible struck of some thought that I was thinking for months and months. I couldn't figure out what it was. And then, bam, I knew exactly like why I was doing something or how to fix a problem. And with both my therapists, they knew, without telling me what to do, they knew what to ask me or where to lead me. I just couldn't believe that it's possible to actually fix years, because my trauma started when I was probably 4 or 5, when I realized what my home was. And even going through all these years, it was possible to fix it, so I couldn't wait to go. Like, I was flying in my car to therapies, like, I'm gonna learn something today, and I'm gonna fix another problem. And I was trying to do art, and I was just like on a spaceship to somewhere. I don't know what it was, like almost being high from just like being understood for the first time ever. And from all these events, I swore men off for my life forever. It's like I saw a man, I was like, you did this to me. Even not, directly, but somehow you were involved. So I did that for a long time. And then I started hearing a voice about a year and a half ago, like, maybe you're ready for a man. And I was trying to, like, no way, it's not gonna happen. But like for weeks and weeks, I was hearing this voice, and I was like, okay, whatever, maybe I'm ready. And I go for a walk with my dog to a river that's on close to the Vancouver waterfront. And I'm walking with my dog, and I see this gentleman smiling at me with a dog. But of course, I was like, I turned around and started walking. And then his dog started talking to my dog, and we started talking. And 10 months later, we got married. And yes. So the story did have a happy ending, after all, which I didn't think it would. But I couldn't have done it without this organization. And I couldn't be more proud and happy to be here and be able to tell my story. So thank you so much.